right. Well, this has been the craziest day for my coverage I can remember in quite some time. We had the Outriders updates go live today. We had an Avengers patch and new boss fight going live today. We had Destiny reset going live today. All of this happened within about 2 hours of each other. And so I've met 7 articles today, and I think I'm done. But it has been a lot, and I did not know what to cover in this video. I could have covered the Avengers drama that in this new patch for PS5 players, your IP address is literally displayed on your screen in a watermark. So that's a thing that happens, and that's being hotfixed tomorrow. So there's not really a whole lot else to say besides that. One of the worst bugs I think I've ever heard of, and completely inexcusable. I have not played the new boss content yet. I thought maybe that they would just roll the whole patch back or something, and I didn't want to play it and lose progress or whatever, so I put it down for now, but it does not seem like they're going to do that, so I will probably jump on that after this. In Destiny, the tower is getting taken over by blights, so that's not great. But besides that, there's not a whole lot of new kind of gameplay stuff going on there other than Grandmasters. What is changing significantly in terms of what I'm going to be playing a lot of this week is Outriders. I said a long time ago that I would not go back to Outriders until they buff the legendary drop rate. That has finally happened. I don't know if I talked about this on video, but I've written a few articles about how Outriders is planning or was planning to dramatically increase the legendary drop rate, and that is now live today. So what happened is they buffed the legendary drop rate everywhere by 100%. The campaign, which obviously the drop rate there is terrible, and this might not be enough there, but also expeditions. So now when they have the little percentages for the tiers, all of those are now doubled. So that means tier 14, it's a 40% chance on a legendary drop per bundle of items for gold, and for tier 15, it's 50%. So it is going to kind of drown you in legendaries in your efforts to find the ones you're actually looking for. In addition to that, they introduced something that will kind of improve the luck system of the game, so you should not go through as many long kind of dry spells without getting any legendaries from any source. And then they did something weird with rerolls that they're calling like anti-dupe protection, which I don't fully understand. I think it's like you get one reroll of a duplicate legendary item with like different stats. So just like 2 copies of it are going to be a little different than each other. I think that's what they're saying. I don't think it's like any sort of knockout system to get you gear you're missing or anything like that. So I haven't played enough to really like understand what's going on with that, but it's a little weird as a descriptor. Also in this patch that is not legendary related, they have improved aiming on console, which used to be just the absolute worst. Now it's kind of improved at baseline, and they also have additional settings you can change. They fixed bugs like everything showing up as new, which has been happening for weeks now. That's done. And they did something with Alpha Perforos that they can't one-shot you as often anymore. That was happening kind of randomly, but I have seen them doing what feels like kind of less damage, and I haven't been like kind of one-shot by any of them so far, which is good. All this is to say, like, obviously Outriders has a ways to go in terms of like overall improvements and stuff, but this is a very good patch, and I have to give credit where it's due because it does feel very good to be running kind of higher tier expeditions now. And it used to be, I mean, you were getting one legendary drop every other run, maybe if you were lucky, maybe sometimes 2. Now in higher tier runs, you are getting 2, 3, 4 legendaries pretty much every run, and that is a much better way to kind of find what you're looking for. That said, this is not like true target farming. There still is no real target farming in the game, so they're kind of just hoping that with an increase in volume, you will eventually get what you're looking for. This is kind of the Diablo theory, where Diablo didn't have like a ton of target farming sources for hyper-specific gear, outside of some exceptions to that. But generally, it was kind of just running all the activities, and you could get a lot of drops that you were looking for from anywhere. And this system is kind of like that in terms of like they're just giving you a lot more stuff now. And I have already gotten some missing set pieces in just a handful of runs I've done already. Matchmaking, they said they were improving that as well. I have been able to find more games with less errors, but I think it's too early to fully tell. But what I am not getting is like 10 connection errors in a row like I used to be. So that has been improved to some degree, I think. And I'm genuinely having fun farming activities that now actually give a significant amount of legendaries. Um, I've been kind of holding off completely, but I leveled up a pyromancer to I just raced through the campaign, which took, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours. Not bad, but just to get to the end game, to have all 4 classes on one platform now. I used to have my pyromancer on PC, but I don't really like playing this game on PC, and it was weird to like not have all the mods unlocked. So at the cost of not having easy to capture footage for these videos, I don't know how many Outriders videos I'm going to keep doing, but I'm now playing everything on console, and I feel like I'm able to finally like fully start farming. And this is enough of a change for me personally where Outriders now feels worth farming. Yes, there are still issues. There's no target farming, and they did not change anything really about expeditions at all in this patch. So the timers are still all over the place. Like some of these missions you can run and clear with 3 or 4 minutes to spare for gold easily. Others, it feels like physically impossible to hit the timers, especially with some builds on solo because of how tightly they've cut it. Those are all over the place, and I do think we fundamentally need endgame mechanics that are not tied to timed runs of anything in terms of reward tiers. So they've said that they're thinking about stuff like that in the future, and they're working on it. And also, hopefully, the next patches that will come will be kind of balance passes, buffing underused builds and skills and weapons and things like that, because they did a little bit of that last patch. Like they buffed like phaser beam on pyromancers and a couple other things, but there still needs to be a lot of work in that regard. But as I've said, like connection errors and legendary drop rate were the 2 biggest things by a mile in terms of what was kind of holding me back from farming Outriders the way I used to kind of just like laid back farm Diablo. And those are fixed to a certain extent now, to the point where I am enjoying these farming runs. Granted, it's like the same content I was doing before. Nothing has really changed in that regard, but at least I am getting like actual drops now, and I'm not spending, 10, 15, 5-minute runs, whatever they are, for pretty much no reason, like just resources, and that's it. And that has changed, and it feels a lot better now to actually be getting drops. It's not perfect. There's still things they can be doing to improve this. The number of cannonball items I've gotten already should kind of tell you that. But this is a very positive step in the right direction, and I don't like always being negative about these struggling looter games. And I have to give credit where it's due, and they listened. I said they were talking about like, okay, we need to explain how the drop rate works and blah blah blah, and like then we'll update it. And like I think they skipped doing most of that, and they just updated it and improved it, and they did it very emphatically. It wasn't like, okay, we're going to give you like a plus 5% drop rate chance and each expedition cheer. They doubled it. That is, I kind of at minimum what I thought they needed to do, and they did it. And so I will, respect them for that. So I'm going to be farming that kind of on and off all week. We'll see where I end up at the end of this. And then I'm going to be keeping up with Destiny, and I'll probably go do the Avengers boss fight after this, even if my IP address is flashing all around on the screen at the same time. What a world. Okay, so that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.